Success is a word that glitters like gold. But what most people don't realize is that gold doesn't come polished. It comes buried, covered in dirt, needing to be mined. In the same way, success doesn't come overnight. It comes over many nights, sleepless ones. We often admire the highlight reel of someone's life. Their awards, their achievements, their luxuries. But rarely do we ask what their behind the scenes looked like. How many nights they stayed up battling doubt, facing failure, and still continuing with discipline. How many times did they work while others partied, read while others slept, practiced while others scrolled? The truth is, the concept of overnight success is a myth. It's a sweet lie that hides the bitter truth. It takes countless sleepless nights of effort, passion, sacrifice, and consistency. Ask yourself, what are you willing to lose to win? Because real growth demands discomfort It demands a version of you that shows up even when it's inconvenient. It's in those lonely nights when no one is watching that your character is built. That is when your commitment is tested. Not during the easy days, but during the hard nights. Every entrepreneur, artist, athlete, or achiever you admire has been there, sitting alone at their desk when the world was asleep, feeling exhausted but driven, and not seeing immediate results but still pushing forward. That's what sets them apart. Not talent, not luck. Persistence through pain. So don't envy someone's success. Respect their sleepless nights. Because while others slept, they dreamed with their eyes open. They turned those dreams into plans, and those plans into reality. And if you are in that phase, if your nights are long, your eyes tired, and your soul heavy, keep going. You're not failing. You're becoming. You're building your overnight success story, one sleepless night at a time. What appears as sudden success to the world is actually the result of years of invisible, persistent, and often painful work. People love to celebrate the final moment, the trophy, the applause, the magazine cover, the viral video. But they rarely acknowledge the journey that led there. They don't see the long hours of struggle, the countless setbacks, or the emotional turmoil behind the scenes. It's easy to admire someone standing tall on a stage, but we forget to ask how many times they stood alone in the dark before that spotlight ever hit them. Most people are drawn to the outcome, not the effort. We label someone an overnight success because we only see the moment of breakthrough, not the foundation built silently over time. A writer may seem to emerge from nowhere with a best-selling book. But what we don't see are the sleepless nights spent editing drafts, battling self-doubt, and facing rejection. A singer may suddenly top the charts, but behind that hit song is a decade of performing in empty rooms, being told no, and practicing endlessly when no one was listening. The path to success is rarely glamorous in the beginning. It's filled with moments where quitting feels like the only logical option, when no one believes in you, and you must be your own cheerleader. Those overnight moments are actually the result of consistent, unseen dedication over time. So when we see someone rise, we must remember the success doesn't knock on the door without effort. It demands entry fee in the form of time, tears, and tenacity. What's visible to the world is just the tip of the iceberg. The real story lies beneath the surface. Every standing ovation, every accolade, and every word of praise is backed by an ocean of unseen effort. The final product, the speech that inspires, the performance that captivates, the business that thrives, often hides the labor that went into creating it. Behind every moment of glory, there are hours, days, even years of relentless practice, planning and perseverance. People often cheer for success, but forget the sweat that made it possible. The truth is, no one just wakes up excellent. Excellence is not stumbled upon, it is engineered, crafted over time through relentless dedication. Consider a student who tops an exam. What we applaud is the result, the rank. But what we don't witness are the nights spent revising, the frustration after failing mock tests, the isolation from distractions, and the mental pressure that weighed heavily but didn't break them. Or take a successful entrepreneur. What we admire is the profitable company, the shiny branding, the recognition. But do we consider how many ideas failed before one worked? How many nights were spent learning new skills, reworking business plans, and navigating financial uncertainty? We live in a world obsessed with results, but the process is where greatness is truly formed. The effort behind the applause is lonely. It's not Instagram worthy. It's waking up early when you didn't sleep well. It's trying again after your last attempt flopped. And it's doing the same task repeatedly until it feels right. There's no spotlight on these moments. No one claps when you're putting in the work. But ironically, these are the moments that lead to the applause. These are the chapters that make the ending worth reading. So when the world stands to applaud someone, remember that you're witnessing a success that was forged quietly, piece by piece, often in solitude. The applause may last a few minutes, but the effort behind it could have taken a lifetime. Great achievements are never handed to anyone. They are earned, and the currency is sacrifice. Every person who has climbed the mountain of success has paid a price, often invisible to others, but deeply felt by them. That price comes in many forms, sacrificing sleep, leisure, comfort, and sometimes even relationships. It's about choosing discipline over ease, effort over comfort, and long-term vision over short-term pleasure. The road to success is not decorated with roses. It's often paved with decisions that most people aren't willing to make. When someone chooses to chase their dream, they slowly begin trading comfort for purpose. They may give up weekends, social gatherings, vacations, and even basic rest. They start to live differently, not because they are forced to, but because they are committed to something bigger than temporary satisfaction. While others sleep, they're awake, thinking, building, creating. While others unwind, they double down on refining their craft. These sacrifices are not glamorous. They are painful. They bring exhaustion, loneliness, and even moments of deep doubt. But these are the silent investments that no one sees, and they make all the difference. Imagine the athlete who skips parties to train in the cold before sunrise. Imagine the artist spends months perfecting one painting, tearing it down, and starting over again. Or the startup founder who risks their savings and mental health to keep their vision alive. They all share a common truth. For 22 hours to be in they are willing to sacrifice things others take for granted because they believe in a future others can't yet see. And these sacrifices aren't made just once. They are made over and over again. Each time they say no to something easy, they're saying yes to something extraordinary. For 22 hours to be in success is not about luck falling into someone's lap. It's about what that person was willing to let go of consistently and painfully in order to rise above average. Behind every successful person is a trail of sacrifices that gave shape to their dreams. And often, it's not until they've reached the summit that anyone even realizes the cost of the climb. Motivation is often the spark that ignites a journey but it is discipline that fuels the fire when that initial spark fades. Motivation can be exciting. It's that rush of energy you feel when you watch an inspiring video, hear a powerful speech, or imagine a better future. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like waves. One day you feel like conquering the world and the next day you don't even want to get out of bed. That's where discipline steps in. Quietly, consistently, and powerfully. Discipline is what carries you through when your emotions no longer support you It's waking up early, not because you feel like it, but because you committed to your growth. It's sticking to the gym routine, even when you're sore, showing up to study, even when you're tired and continuing to work on your goals, even when no one is watching or applauding. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. It only asks what you promised yourself. And true progress is born out of this consistency, not from the random spikes of motivation. Every high achiever has had days when they didn't want to keep going. Days when they questioned themselves, when results didn't show up, and the journey felt endless. But the difference is, they didn't stop, not because they were always motivated hours to be but because they were trained to act regardless of how they felt. Discipline turns work into habit, and habit into mastery. People often wait to feel ready or feel inspired before they act. But those who truly succeed understand that waiting for motivation is unreliable. The real champions build systems. They create routines. They design their environment in such a way that even on bad days, their habits protect their progress. Discipline removes the decision from the moment. It makes the hard thing the default thing. Think about any artist, athlete, or entrepreneur who has reached excellence. Their greatest strength isn't that they were always inspired. It's that they were disciplined even in moments of boredom, fatigue and doubt. They didn't let their feelings dictate their actions. They let their commitment lead the way. And that is the silent, uncelebrated engine behind every long-term success, unwavering discipline. The most powerful transformations happen in silence. Real success isn't born under the spotlight. It's nurtured in solitude, away from applause, social media likes, or external validation. When no one is watching and no one is clapping, that's when the real work gets done. It's in these quiet hours that character is built, skills are sharpened, and dreams are nurtured into reality. The world often celebrates the results, but the process that leads to greatness is often lonely and unnoticed. Behind every confident presentation is a person who once practiced in front of a mirror, stumbling over words, questioning their ability. Hours to be in the. Behind every well-executed performance is someone who rehearsed in silence, repeating the same move, the same line, the same stroke until it became second nature. No audience, no appreciation, just a deep personal hunger to improve. That is the stage where true mastery is developed, not in public arenas, but in private commitment. In a world where everything is shared instantly, where people crave attention and feedback, it's easy to forget that the most meaningful progress is often invisible. There are nights when the mind battles with doubt, when motivation disappears and only discipline remains. There are moments when the sacrifices seem unbearable, the goal seems too far, and quitting feels like a tempting option. Yet in those very moments, when you continue to push forward, something powerful happens. You begin to grow in ways no one can measure. Not yet. The silence of hard work is often misunderstood. It may feel unrewarded, but it is in fact the most rewarding part of the journey. It creates depth. It strengthens resilience. It fosters authenticity. When you work in silence, you aren't chasing applause, you're chasing excellence. And excellence requires full focus, which often comes only when the noise of the world is turned off. This silent phase is sacred. It's where vision is clarified, skills are refined, and confidence is forged. Not the fake confidence that comes from praise, but the real confidence that comes from knowing you've done the work. Every single day, without shortcuts. So while the world may only see your success when it finally shines, remember, it's the silent hours that made you who you are. The real victory began long before anyone else noticed. Sleepless nights often bring with them more than just tired eyes. They bring frustration, uncertainty, and failure. These moments, though heavy and uncomfortable, are not signs of weakness. They are the stepping stones of real progress. It's during these nights, when your efforts don't seem to match your results, when everything you planned starts to fall apart, that the true journey begins. Failure is not a roadblock, it's part of the road. And the sooner we embrace that, the stronger we become. Failure humbles us. It teaches us more than success ever could. When we fail, we're forced to reflect, to reassess our approach, to dig deeper into our purpose. There is no such thing as a smooth ride to success. Every person who has achieved anything remarkable has a long list of failures behind them. And not just minor mistakes. Some failures that shook their confidence, emptied their wallets, broke their hearts, and made them question everything. But still, they persisted. The sleepless nights are often filled with thoughts like, is it worth it? Am I even good enough? Why isn't anything working? These questions are not weaknesses. They are signs of growth. Because asking these questions means you care deeply. It means you are engaged in something that truly matters to you. And that emotional involvement is powerful. It keeps you invested even when the world gives you reasons to quit. Each failure, each restless night, adds to your experience. You learn what doesn't work, you learn how to adapt, and most importantly, you learn about yourself, your resilience, your patience, your values. This inner learning is invisible, but over time, it makes you unshakable. When the next setback comes, it won't hit you the same way because you've built strength through struggle. And what's beautiful is that over time, these failures begin to form the foundation of your future success. You start to realize that every time you fell short, it wasn't a waste. It was preparation. Those nights when everything went wrong, they were teaching you, shaping you, preparing you for the moment when things finally go right. So yes, the sleepless nights can be painful but they're also proof that you're in the arena. You're trying, you're learning, and failure is just your temporary teacher, guiding you towards something greater than you can yet imagine. Dreams are not meant to be passively admired. They're meant to be actively pursued. And that pursuit demands wakefulness, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The idea of dreaming big has been romanticized so often that people forget the hard truth. Dreams don't work unless you do. And to work on your dreams, you must be willing to stay awake for them. Awake when others rest, alert when others are distracted, and deeply engaged when others are indifferent. To truly chase a dream means to live with a kind of intensity that often feels exhausting. It's not just about missing a few hours of sleep. It's about developing an inner fire that won't let you rest until you've moved a little closer to your goal. It's about being obsessed, not in an unhealthy way, but with a focused determination that fuels your every action. People who turn their dreams into reality aren't just dreamers, they are doers. They don't just visualize success. They grind for it, build it, fail for it, and rise again. Staying mentally awake means constantly learning, adjusting, thinking critically, and staying connected to your purpose. It means being fully present in the process, not just daydreaming about the outcome. Many people say they have big dreams, but when it comes time to work on them, they're asleep in other ways. They procrastinate. They avoid discomfort. They settle into distractions. The ones who make a difference are those who stay awake to their own potential, who refuse to numb themselves with excuses or comfort zones. Staying emotionally awake is just as important. When you pursue something meaningful, your emotions will fluctuate. There will be excitement, anxiety, joy, fear, and doubt. Being awake means acknowledging those feelings, facing them, and using them as fuel rather than reasons to stop. It takes emotional awareness to stay connected to your dream through setbacks and slow progress. It takes a strong heart to continue loving the dream even when it doesn't seem to love you back yet. And then there's the spiritual wakefulness, the deeper sense of why that carries you through the long nights, the kind of awareness that reminds you of your values, your reason for starting, your commitment to something greater than just personal gain. This is what grounds you during the chaos, what gives meaning to your effort, and what helps you keep going when everything else tells you to give up. So, staying awake for your dreams is not a poetic metaphor. It is a real daily discipline. It's the decision to keep your eyes, mind and heart open, to resist the temptation of comfort and step fully into the discomfort of growth. If you want to live your dream, you cannot afford to sleep through your life. You must stay awake with full presence, full passion, and full purpose because dreams are only given to those who are ready to wake up and do something about them. Pain is an inseparable companion of progress. Growth never arrives without discomfort. Whether it's physical, emotional, or mental, a pain is the unavoidable tax we pay on the road to becoming better, stronger, and more resilient. And the sooner we learn to embrace this pain, rather than avoid it, the more prepared we become to walk the path that leads to lasting success. When you set out to do something extraordinary, start a business, master a skill, write a book, change your life, you will encounter pain. The pain of failure, the pain of rejection, the pain of being misunderstood, the pain of self-doubt, and perhaps the deepest of all, the pain of sacrifice. You'll miss events, lose friends who don't understand your ambition, and face loneliness during nights spent working while others are resting. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's raw, silent suffering that slowly reshapes you. But here's the paradox. The same pain you think is breaking you is often building you. Like a muscle being torn in the gym only to grow stronger every sleepless night. Every frustrating setback, every hard-earned lesson is sculpting your character. Progress often disguises itself as pain because change never feels comfortable. We are wired to stay in our comfort zones, but every meaningful success lies far beyond that border. Think about the most powerful moments of transformation in anyone's life. They rarely come during ease. They come when they are pushed, pressured, or placed in a situation where they have no choice but to evolve. Pain forces us to reassess, refocus, and recommit. It introduces us to parts of ourselves we didn't know existed. It reveals resilience we hadn't tapped into before. Without pain, there is no urgency to grow. But pain also serves another purpose. It keeps you honest. When you feel pain on your journey, it reminds you that you're doing something that matters. You're stretching beyond limitations. You're facing fear instead of hiding from it. People who never feel discomfort are often not moving at all. They're stagnant, settling for average. While those enduring pain are inching toward excellence. Pain isn't something to run from. It's something to lean into, to learn from, and to carry with pride. Because behind every strong, successful individual is a story of pain they overcame. Not by avoiding it but by walking through it with courage. And every time they got back up, that pain became a brick in the foundation of their strength. So, if you are in pain right now, if your journey feels heavy and uncertain, know this: you are not failing. You are progressing. And this pain you feel, it's not the end of your story. It's the part where you begin to transform. Comparison is one of the greatest thieves of joy, focus, and progress. In today's hyper-connected world, where everyone's life is on display, filtered, edited, and selectively shared, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your journey to someone else's destination. You look at their achievements, their possessions, their recognition, and begin to question your own worth, your own pace, and your own purpose But what you're seeing is only the surface, a polished version of reality that hides the struggle beneath. And when you compare that surface to your own, behind the scenes, you will always feel like you're falling short. Comparison distorts reality. It makes you forget your unique path. It blinds you to the progress you've made and instead magnifies what you lack. You begin to feel like you're not doing enough, not being enough, not achieving fast enough. It whispers, "Lease, you should be further along by now. Look at them, they did it quicker. Why is it so easy for others?" But these lies are built on incomplete information. You don't know what battles that person fought. You don't know how many nights they cried, how many times they failed, or what sacrifices they made that you didn't see Every successful person has a story of struggle, but not all choose to show it. The truth is, your journey is yours alone. It's not meant to look like anyone else's, to be Just because someone else reached a goal faster doesn't mean they're ahead of you Success is not a race. It's a personal evolution. Some people bloom early, others bloom late. What matters is not how fast you bloom, but that you bloom. And for that to happen, you need to stay grounded in your own process, your own growth, your own values. When you constantly compare, you give away your power. Instead of using your energy to build, to learn, and to grow, you waste it worrying about someone else's lane. You lose focus on what you can control and instead spiral into feelings of inadequacy based on someone else's path But your life is not theirs. Your timing is not theirs. Your purpose is not theirs. You are not behind. You are on time for your life. Growth isn't loud. Progress isn't always visible. And success, real success, is built quietly in layers. So don't let the illusion of someone else's success make you question your own. When you stop comparing, you start living. You begin to appreciate your struggles, honor your pace, and embrace the value of your unique experience. And in doing so, you gain the freedom to become the person you were meant to be. Not a replica of someone else, but the fullest version of you. The real magic of success lies not in grand gestures, but in quiet, steady consistency. Anyone can work hard for a day. Many can stay focused for a week. But the ones who achieve lasting results are those who show up every day, especially on the days they don't feel like it. It's not passion alone that builds a dream. It's not inspiration or mood or excitement. It's consistency. Doing the work again and again, especially when you're tired, bored, discouraged, or doubtful. There's something powerful about those who continue showing up when the novelty wears off. In the beginning, everything feels exciting. The dream is new, the motivation is high, and hope fills every action. But inevitably, reality sets in. The work becomes repetitive. Progress slows. You don't see instant results. You begin to wonder if it's even worth it. That's when most people quit. Not because they lacked ability, but because they lack consistency. Consistency is not dramatic. It won't always feel exciting. But it builds something far more valuable than intensity. It builds momentum like a drop of water falling on stone every day. Your consistent efforts begin to shape your results even when you don't see it right away. One workout won't make you fit 1 hour of study won't make you an expert. One act of kindness won't define your character. But done every single day, these small actions begin to create a massive shift. That's how progress works. Not in leaps, but in layers. It's especially on the hard days. The days when your energy is low, when your heart feels heavy, when success seems far away, that consistency becomes your greatest strength. When you show up tired, you're telling your goals, you still matter. When you work in silence, you're telling your dream, I haven't forgotten you. Each time you choose discipline over ease, you're training yourself to be unstoppable. You're proving that your commitment runs deeper than your mood. This kind of consistency is what separates amateurs from professionals, dreamers from doers, and those who wish from those who achieve. Anyone can start. Very few keep going. But those who do, those who keep showing up, keep practicing, keep improving, those are the people who build something unshakable. And often the world doesn't notice until much later. But by then the foundation is so strong, the results so undeniable, that people can't help but admire it. So if you're tired, if progress feels slow, if you're questioning your path, don't stop. Stay consistent. Trust the process. Because every time you show up, even at your lowest, you're stacking bricks. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look around and see a castle standing where once there was only effort. That's the power of showing up again and again. No matter what